Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So if everybody's had an opportunity to review the minutes, may I have a motion to adopt the minutes as distributed?
I'll move it. Go ahead, Jim.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Citizens' comments. Do we have any citizens? Yeah. Okay, that was fast.
I want to meet Fred. Cindy Clark, 27 West Genesee Street, Baldwinsville. Just two things. I know I missed the presentation here with Matt Hunt from the chamber, and I just want everybody to know, because I get very involved through PAC with the chamber, just in what's going on in the community, and they've come a long way. The chamber is very helpful with all the businesses. I mean, I think a lot of businesses would have a tough time if it wasn't for the chamber. They do like Taste of Baldwinsville, 3,000 to 5,000 people come in, you know, the big show. They're very involved, very community oriented, it's all volunteers except the director. And they showed the financials the other day. Believe me, they aren't making any money. They are not making any money. So anything, if the towns, the village, or whatever can do something to help continue this, because we need a chamber, particularly now when we've got probably Micron coming in and maybe other businesses opening up, we're gonna need somebody to help promote the community, and they do a very, very good job of it. So that being said, the second thing is, it was a nice presentation by Mr. Corey tonight too. But anyways, I don't know if you were aware, I should have said this at the other meeting, that one of our former videographers, Ernie Ham, a lot of you know, if you've been around the community, you knew Ernie Ham. He passed away on October 21st, and I'm sorry that I've taken this long to put it out there, but he filmed many of our meetings, he filmed many of the events in the community, but I just want to let everybody know and that we miss him. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Fred Birch, 8865 Plainville Road. Once again, I appreciate the time that we get. I wish we had more. There's people that, you know, could speak for 6 or 7 minutes of important stuff in this town, but appreciate what time we get. At the previous meeting, I talked about an issue that I noticed in our park, and I thought I had laid it out, why the process that we used, the stuff that we used to do that process weren't effective. And if I didn't make a point, I'd like to restate those points. I had an opportunity this weekend to go down to the park and sit there half an hour before closing. I was the only one in the park, got out of my vehicle and I walked around and I'm looking at things and just noticed things that you don't see. I could hear the birds chirping, even though it was a cloudy, darkish day. I looked around. And I said, geez, I went in there and made some important points about those rocks. Let's call them rocks. They're not boulders, they're rocks. I looked at every single one of them. They're all about this high, most of them. Every single one of those little rocks has a jagged edge. So when the grandmother goes to the soccer game and she's all cheering, which I've seen people along that fence, and she inadvertently steps back and falls, she lands on that jagged edge, you're gonna have a problem. Now, if we put the rocks there that I was talking about, you're still hitting a hard thing, but it's flat. It's not pointed. Would you rather get hit with a heavy flat thing or a heavy pointed thing? So, they aren't big enough to stop the vehicles from coming into the park. I know my Ford Platinum will cross 90% of those rocks. I know his Dodge Big Punch or Bighorn will cross them. I know your Silverado will cross them. I don't think Pete's Toyota will cross them, but that's what happens when you buy a Rex burner. So they're not effective. They look ugly. We're not a quarry town. Those rocks look like, that's what drew my attention to them. When I found out at a board meeting we were going to get boulders to protect the park, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm all for it. There'll be ones that are around here. stove size, washing machine size, you can lean against them, you can sit on them, dual purpose, they'll protect the park, they'll look natural. Then one day I saw a big pile of, to me, looked like door stoppers. I actually called the clerk and said, hey, did somebody accidentally drop the town door stoppers off at our park? So they're dangerous, they're not effective. We've added 10, 12, 14 hours in my estimation of maintenance, of weed whacking and specialized mowing that we didn't have to deal with before. A lot of people come in here and like to bitch, me too. I'll come in and offer a solution. I'll come with my equipment, with my time and my fuel, and I'll remove those rocks for you, put them on pile, and we can auction them off. And we can get in there rocks that will be effective. Dual purpose, they look like they belong in the park, they look natural to the park. If you accidentally hit them, it's gonna hurt, but it's not gonna cut your skin. It'll stop vehicles from coming in there. Now, a few weeks ago at the budget meeting, I asked this board if they treat our town and town's budgets, our assets, like a homeowner would treat their budget and assets, and I was told yes. And so I want to give you a scenario. Say you live in a corner yard in the town of Lysander, and Bigfoot likes to cut across your property. And I'm not talking about the paranormal hoax. I'm talking about Bigfoot, the truck. He's cutting across, the homeowner picks up, phone and calls the town of Lysander Landscaping Company. Can I get some rocks out here to stop Bigfoot from crossing into my yard? They delivered what we got in the park. You think that's gonna stop a four-wheel drive truck? Or even a vehicle that's got speed where the person is incapacitated? No, the answer is no. But we've added all that maintenance. Looks like an eyesore. The homeowner would pick up the phone and call the landscaping company and say, that's not effective. I want you to come and put once there, even if it costs me more, I want it to be effective. A homeowner wouldn't just let Bigfoot continue to go across there.
You got about a minute.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. And so, hey, say that's not a real world example. Okay, I'll give you a real world example. Town of Lysander. Say you got snoopy neighbors. Like to see what's going on, what you're doing in your backyard. Let's say you're involved in some kooky religious backyard activities. You don't want your neighbors to see them, so you consider putting up a fence. You're not going to invest a lot of monies in something like a 4 or 5 foot fence where the neighbors can still see your kooky religious activities. You're going to put up a 16-footer, like the Diamonds did. Yeah, have you seen that sucker? First time I saw it, it looked like a prop out of a King Kong movie. Okay, one last thing. I appreciate the time. I would personally like to foil that building permit for that fence if possible. I'd like to see who signed off on that. I appreciate your time. I'd like to talk more about the parks at the next meeting, even if I gotta come into the planning meeting beforehand or whatever. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Town board comments. Start with you, Mr. Rowe.
Hope everybody got through Thanksgiving good. Everybody's usually here. Thanks for coming tonight. I did notice on the town website, for those that live in Radisson or on 60 Road, that there will be, we have somebody interested in buying property in the Radisson, and the ESDC sells that, and they have a virtual public hearing on Tuesday, December 13th from 2 to 3 p.m. For those who don't know where the property is, it's about where 60 Road starts to go into the village. Somebody's proposing to build some soccer fields. SDA Developmental Academy is looking to purchase it. I know there's some interest in that area. I think there's possibility of apartments not too far down the road in the village. They've been going around with it on planning. And we have a solar farm looking to be built across the street from that. So just wanted to point that out. Look at the town website. It'll give you the information. It's a virtual public hearing. You can submit comments without being at the public hearing. Thank you.
I'll stick to the agenda tonight.
So will I.
I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. For me, it's the start of the holiday season, so I just hope everybody gathers with their families, has gathered with their families and friends, and enjoy the season while it lasts, please. It's a good time, even though the cold weather's coming. I understand that, but it's still a great time to gather with your friends and family. For everyone who's come, thank you very much. For everybody who takes the time to watch at home, thank you as well. That's it.
I don't have anything this evening. Department heads reports. Mr. Vizigno? No? Mr. Yeager?
A little update on the fire side, waiting on one easement to come back for them, the owner of the apartment building. I was finally able to get in touch with those folks. They moved to South Dakota. Hopefully we'll get that easement back quickly, and we can move forward with getting that project scheduled. Materials have been ordered. We're just waiting on an easement before I can release the contractor to put the pipe in the ground. Thank you for considering the Whispering Oaks and Amelia Park drainage improvement projects as well. That's all.
Ms. Falcone?
I'm all set tonight, thank you.
Okay. We'll move on to the regular agenda items. We're going to table motion B. So, motion A, we have a motion to adopt local law number 6 of the town of Lysander for the updated 2022 town of Lysander zoning map. The public hearing was held on September 15th, 2022, and the map was adopted by the town board resolution number 139.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to appoint Elizabeth Jetty as laborer wing person at an hourly rate of $18.71 per hour per the labor contract?
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to appoint Seamus Shanley as security with an hourly rate of $40 an hour with a minimum 3-hour minimum?
I'll move that.
I'll second
Any discussion? I would like to say that Sergeant Matt Fisher, who many of you would have seen in here, he was the big giant guy that used to stand in the back. He is now going to be the chief of police for the sheriff's department for the new sheriff coming in, and I want to congratulate him on that. It's I've known Matt for a long while. He used to work for me for a while, and I think he will do a good job. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. So we have a couple other motions here. Motion E. May I have a motion to approve a letter to be sent to the Onondaga County Industrial Agency in support of the project known as Drake's Landing Apartments, seeking a pilot agreement from the IDA.
I'll move that.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
And I'm an aye. Motion carried. Motion F?
Excuse me, was it all ayes?
No.
No.
It was 3 ayes here and Mr. Kudaraskis and
Okay.
we're a nay. Motion F. May I have a motion to allocate up to $30,000 in ARPA funding for the Whispering Oaks Drainage Improvement District.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Item number G. May I have a motion to authorize the town supervisor to sign the CHA proposal for professional engineering services for the Whispering Oaks Drainage District improvement projects in an amount not to exceed $5,500.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. May I have a motion to allocate up to $16,000 in ARPA funding for the Amelia Park Drainage District Improvement Project?
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Okay, earlier in the evening, with these last two motions, Mr. Yeager came in and explained why we needed to spend the money on these different drainage issues. And a lot of them had to do with issues in the past and the way that they were developed. And we're going to be looking into fixing that for future developments as far as making sure that any type of the landscape and the way that the houses are put on the property, there's adequate drainage so that in the future we can eliminate some of these problems. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to authorize the town supervisor to sign the project of a CHA proposal for professional engineering services for the Amelia Park Drainage District Improvements Project in the amount not to exceed $4,000?
I'll move that. I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Okay, I would like to go into executive session in order to get some legal advice and to talk about a specific employee's work history. May I have a motion to go into executive session at 7:20?
I'll move it. I'll second.
Okay.
Who moved
All in
that?
favor?
Jeff.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We're in executive session, so for people in the crowd, we're not going to be making any, spending any money or making any motions.
Good to see you, dear. Have a great evening.
Executive session. Thank you.
Yeah.